Tashia here with Butterfield Alpaca Ranch. I'm a fiber artist, crochet instructor, and an alpaca rancher here in Nebraska. And you can see I am hanging out with my girls today. Just got back from Chicago, and I wanted to give you an update on how the weekend went. If you saw the special announcement #1 video, then you're kind of up to date on what happened, but I went to Chicago to open up a little store, which was very exciting. So I want to show you the process that happened that weekend. And this, what I'm talking about is the Andersonville Galleria, which is in the Andersonville neighborhood of Chicago. It's on the north side of the city. The information for that's going to be down in the description box. I'll provide all that for you, as well as their website, so you can find out all the information about them. But I have a space in there. This place is kind of like a micro mall in the sense that there's a bunch of vendors in there in a small space, and everyone just has their little niche store in there. And the idea is really for a place for artisans to show and sell their products, the things that they make. And the products that we have from my alpacas fit really well in there. To learn more about the story about how this came about, go watch the special announcement #1 video, and you'll hear more about that. But how this weekend worked out is I showed up, and on day 1, we put up the wallpaper. Now this is a little space that is 4 feet deep and 8 feet wide. So we put up this, it's marketed as wallpaper, but it's really like that vinyl, kind of like the shelf or drawer lining that we used to get, or I used to get. You know, we used to put on our textbooks as kids and stuff like that. Well, now they are marketing it as wallpaper, and I found this really awesome rustic wood type that, you know, very light in color. And then I chose white fixtures to use in the store. And what I did not expect is that the white fixtures almost disappear against the wallpaper, and it came out really, really nice. Very happy with the result. In this store, I have to tag everything with a certain kind of barcode that the Galleria can ring up and credit me for the sale. So I had done about half of my products the first evening that I was there. So the day we put the wallpaper, that evening I was labeling product, and that went in on day 2. Day 2, we finished putting in the fixtures, and put in the product that I already had tagged or labeled. So that was ready to go. And then on day 3, we finished putting out the rest of the product. The evening of night 2, I finished labeling everything, which took about 3 hours because it was like all the little stuff. Every hat, every glove, I think the first night was every sock, that type of thing. So in this store, there's a lot of little things that had to be tagged, every skein of yarn, things like that. So it took quite a bit of time on the second night to do that, but I did. I think I finished about 10 o'clock at night, and so on day 3, it was all ready to go into the store. And it turned out so, so nicely. On these pictures, it's not quite finished yet. There's some finishing touches I want to do. The third night, this would be my last day there. So my last evening, I printed out some pictures and I put them in frames, and I wanted to put them in the store because the Galleria, they staff it for me. So there's no one there in the store directly related to the ranch or has knowledge of the, really like in-depth knowledge of the products and that type of thing. So I have to find other ways to, 1, tell the story about the business, and 2, to educate people about the products and what makes them so high quality and worth the price and that type of thing. So the day that I was driving back to Chicago, my parents put up the photos that we had done the last night I was there, and it just like transformed the whole space. Just look at how amazing this looks. You know, to walk in there, and now there's an actual connection between myself and my animals and the products that are there on the shelf. So that was a huge step for me. I was so happy with the way that turned out. You can also see the sign. I forgot to mention the store sign, Butterfield Alpaca Ranch, went in on day 3. So it was pretty much all set to sell product. And what is yet to go in are little signs I'm going to put up. I mean, like, 3-inch square signs, something about that size, interspersed amongst the products with little facts about alpacas or the product that is right there. More about the animals, just to kind of make that connection again. And you'll notice in some of these pictures that there is a bracket on the wall. I have a little monitor, a screen. I think it's maybe 19-inch screen. I forget the size exactly, something like that. Bridget just stalked me. I'm going to be running videos on that. So again, making a connection between myself and the animals and the products that are there. So again, trying to find creative ways to tell my story. And that's so important in this particular store because since they do focus on their vendors being artisans, we have to find a way to tell the story. And yeah, so it turned out awesome, awesome, awesome. So happy with it. And we have to give it some time, kind of see how it goes. February, as you can imagine, is not a big sales month in the year. We're kind of starting off in this space in the slowest time of the year. But my mom and myself, we are hatching a plan to keep the products updated seasonally, doing special events and stuff, special promotions and that type of thing. So the store will stay updated. My mom's the one who's going to keep the inventory up and keep it looking nice. So as changes happen in the store there, I will let you know on Instagram and Facebook and on the newsletter. If you are not on my mailing list, make sure to get onto that. Again, I'll put the link down in the description box. And yeah, it's very, very exciting. What I'm doing now is building the website. Can I tell you, running a business can be really hard, especially when you're trying to do a lot of things yourself, like building your own e-commerce website. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of options out there for different platforms, and I've started off on one, and I don't think it has everything I need in it, so I'm going to have to switch over to another one. See if I can get some of that action going on there. The sunlight. Yes, they're arguing over alfalfa. A little tidbit here, alpacas, they treat alfalfa like it's candy. So you could hear they'll argue over it, but, they'll calm down. Oh, see, and there's some going on back there. They're arguing back there, too. Yes. Okay, so yeah, I'm working on the website now. What else? Okay, the first full day that I was back, I came out to the ranch, and Val, who you may not really know, I did not do a video on her. I've had her less than a year. She came last fall, so maybe late summer last year. I forget exactly when. I traded Spider for her, and it was more of a situation of getting rid of Spider because he was causing troubles with the boys, as opposed to gaining another girl. But Val was an older girl, and this was really just a place for her to live out her days. And when I came back, she was in heart failure. And this is something that I had seen before. Cedra, who I had talked about in the Handling the Loss of an Alpaca video, I told the story of her a bit. She is Thor's mom. Yeah, I said that right. She's Thor's mom. So I have a sentimental value. Thor has sentimental value to me because Cedra is one of my favorite alpacas. Actually, my ultimate favorite alpaca. But she also died of heart failure. So I knew the signs of, a heart going bad. And so when I came back from Chicago and Val was not with the rest of the girls, you know, I count everyone. When I get to the boys or girls barn, I count everyone to make sure everyone's here. Just, you know, in case someone's missing or sick or fell somewhere, you know, anything like that. I always check first. I count them a number of times every day that I see them. And I looked around and Val was missing. And I was like, I already had a heads up that something was going on with her. A friend of mine who was taking care of the alpacas while I was in Chicago had expressed concern about Val. And it wasn't really clear what was going on with her. But when I got back, I knew what it was. And I went and found her, and just her, the way she was acting, and the way her body was behaving, I knew it was the end. And I shouldn't say I knew it. I suspected it was the end. She kind of acted like that. I immediately got a call into the vet because I wasn't quite sure what was going on. But it was going to be another hour before the vet was available to come out. And I said, I don't want to bring her in. I'm only 5 miles from the vet, so it's not like a big deal to bring somebody in. But she was not in a condition that I wanted to transfer her. I didn't want to move her at all, actually. Since I was waiting for an hour, I did feed everybody and I took care of some chores. But I watched her and I was trying to figure out what was happening. I did give her some pain reliever. We use Banamine for pain relief. I gave her that right away, just after I called the vet initially. I was like, if she's in any pain, at least I can help her there. But as I watched her and was noticing what signs she actually had, I was like, this is really familiar. And my conclusion, my guess, in my limited experience, is that it was her heart. And so I called back the vet, spoke to, you know, whoever answered the phone, since the vet was busy, and I said, can you just have the vet call me before she comes, because yeah, there might be some other options that we have here, and I want her to be prepared. So when the vet did call me, getting ready to come, I told her my suspicion about heart failure, and she was kind of surprised. And then I said, if that is what is going on, I need you to be prepared to come put her down. I watched Cedra die of heart failure. It is a very slow death, and no, we're not making this any longer than it needs to be. Sure enough, the vet came out, did the exam. Well, on the phone, she had asked me, do you want us to at least come out and just kind of do an assessment? And I was like, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's treatable. Could be, could be. I'm open to anything here. But she came, she did the exam, and yes, my guess was right. So I felt, I had mixed feelings. My heart went out for Val, because obviously this was the end for her, but also kind of thrilled that I knew what was going on. That means that next time something similar is happening, I will know better how to respond. And so, you know, with each situation that happens like this, regardless of the outcome, I at least want to get that out of it. I at least want to learn from this situation so I can help another alpaca in the future either not go through this or not go through as much pain, or, you know, something along those lines. So yeah, she was nearing the end by the time the vet got here, and I was like, her suffering needs to end. So that's what we did, and today I am burying her. And I appreciate everyone who will give their condolences. Honestly, I know it's a part of this whole alpaca thing. You raise livestock. And like I said in some of my other videos, I'm going to outlive all these animals. It's very possible I can see every single one of them here pass in one way or another. And so what my goal is, like I said, is just to learn. It's very possible one of these girls in the barn here might also have some heart issues. And there are meds and some strategies that you can do early on to help them live longer. Val was just not in a place where any measures taken would really have resulted in things that were good for her. I felt like my decision was the right one, and ever since I had her, she acted old. That's kind of how I describe it. She just acted old, and it's likely that she already had that heart condition when I got her, and so those times when she was acting old was probably her just experiencing issues with her heart. As opposed to like Sophie that died last fall. She was 21 when she died, and you never would have known she was that old. And I think Val was, I want to say 17. The average alpaca life is 20. So, when they get in their late teens, I'm not surprised at all, when health issues arise and stuff like that happens. Did you love all their talking? I love all their talking. Okay, so let's spend some time with the alpacas. So I know the lighting here is not the best, so let me kind of give you a better look. Whenever I feed these, I say these guys, but the girls too, I like just sitting back and watching them eat. Now alfalfa, the amount of alfalfa I give them is dependent on the weather. Tomorrow and the rest of this week is supposed to be pretty nice, so it's pretty much just to help them with the night cold, and more as a snack or a treat. The extra protein in alfalfa is good for them in the winter. And but not year-round. I don't feed it to them year-round. You can see, yeah, you can see out there, there's still some bales. This week, as it turns nice, I'm going to give them both new bales, so they'll have some extra stuff. That bale over on the left is the young boys, and they certainly need a new one, but there's stuff there. Nope, not enough good light here. You can see here I have a tarp just to block the wind and snow and the winter weather. In about another month, though, I'll be taking it up. you can see that I have various places that I put the alfalfa, and that's so that everyone gets some, because they argue it over it like that, and you'll have some that try to dominate and control everything. So to give opportunity to those more at the bottom of the social ladder a chance to have some, I have multiple places that I put it so that no one can be bullied out of the alfalfa and not get some. Everyone gets to have some. Thanks for joining me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share the channel with anyone who loves alpacas. Remember to check out the information down in the description box for all the links and information about things I've talked about today. And I will see you on the next video. Hey, don't you be spitting at me. No, guys, calm down. Hey, no. Hey, stop. Stop. Hey.